Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome back to The Climb, the series that I got on my main account and show you the climb. So this episode is a little bit different. This is a post-game commentary. So what you're seeing, the gameplay on the screen right now, is not live. I am recording the commentary after I have the gameplay already done. The reason for this is the season is coming to end. There's like just about a week left to go, and I want to play on this account just a little bit more than I am currently. And if I want to play at 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock at night, or in this case early hours in the morning, I think this was around 1 o'clock in the morning, I can't do a commentary in those hours with my family being in the same house. So I can record it, have the perspective from me, but then record the commentary later. So if you guys enjoy this style, please throw a like on it, because then I'll know to do this more. And if people don't like it, I'm like, okay, people don't like this style. But we are playing Annie. I did get recognised, and I am getting recognised more often. And this person's just basically saying, you know, do I play without recording? And I was like, not really, no. Even though I wasn't doing a commentary in this episode, I knew I was going to use this for a video. And that is, I guess, the problem with being a YouTuber, is a lot of the time you're focused on the videos rather than your own climb. Where hopefully next season, that will change a little bit. But we're playing Annie, a champion that I don't know if she's underrated, but she's underappreciated. You know, everybody knows how much damage an Annie can do, but I don't think a lot of people kind of go, yeah, she's actually pretty damn good at high rating. Now, I'm against the Yasuo, and from memory, this guy, it's like a standard Yasuo thing, that this guy had a negative win rate, had a negative KD, and again, this is mid-diamond, this is like Diamond 3. So I never get like, I know Yasuo is a really fun champion, but I never get people that are actively playing him after, I think this guy had about 100 games on the champion, and he still has a negative KD and win rate. It's just like, maybe that champion isn't for you, but then you have to come into the argument of, do you enjoy, you know, fun, or, you know, that type of thing, or do you just want to win? And if you enjoy winning, then I wouldn't play that, especially looking at your own match history. But anyway, we are just trading a little bit in mid lane. This match is going to be very much a trade. Whoever gets ahead will probably snowball. The cool thing about Annie, and why I picked Annie into Yasuo, so he picked Yasuo first, and then I picked Annie, was because his only thing he can stop with Wind Wall of Mine. He goes for an exhaust. Really weird play here. I think ghost away, and I'm like, okay, well, I just got his exhaust. I'm not sure what type of play that was. But the reason I like Annie is because the only ability he can stop with his Wind Wall, I believe, is my Q. I don't think my W counts as a projectile, and Tibbers definitely doesn't count as a projectile. So that's how you can kind of counter Yasuo with this champion. You just bombard him with Tibbers. He's expecting to you to Q him. Just don't do it. Now, I'm not an amazing Annie player. You'll probably be able to point that out in today's episode. I'm missing too many CS. I'm a bit distracted, but that happens to everybody. But he's already buttoned his exhaust, which now gives me, honestly, lane pressure. Like, I don't honestly know why he went for that exhaust play. Unless he went for, like, an all-in flash, which he didn't do, he now is at a massive disadvantage in this lane. You can see Hecarim just at the bottom of the screen, potentially his little swirl thing with his going on Wraiths. We're like, okay, time to dive. So he uses the Wind Wall way too early. Hecarim comes in. He tries then to flash on top of me. Doesn't do anything, and I pick up first blood. So Yasuo already, you can tell, he's a little bit iffy on the champion. Both of his summoners are now burnt. Really nice gank from the Hecarim, honestly. Like, who would think a Hecarim's going to dive somebody at level 3, level 4? Not many people. But we did. I asked him to help me push it, which was nice of him, and I just said, well played, Pony, because it was well played. You know, again, I don't expect my junglers to be that confident, but this guy was truly that confident, which is great. My bot lane, from memory, I might have the loading screen somewhere. If I have the loading screen, I'll put it on the screen, like, now, because we're in base. But from memory, it was a Zillion that was Diamond 1, and he was or Diamond 2, Diamond 1 or Diamond 2, and he was one of the best Zillions in the world. But in this game, he did complain later in the game, you'll see, that he was incredibly tired, and he was falling asleep, apparently. So maybe he wasn't playing his best, but he still played okay from my understanding. Now, in all chat, already the Yasuo and Shen are flaming non-stop, apparently, and saying FF20. Now, again, I think I mentioned it in the overview video of Unranked to Diamond, is if First Blood happens, if something isn't going your way in the early game, it doesn't mean the game is over. Please do not have that negative attitude going into the game after First Blood going, oh, we lost, GG, well played, because that, again, makes you play worse, but it also makes your teammates play worse, and you're basically just accepting defeat. Yasuo is going for another little all-on on me. You can see there's his wind wall. He does a really nice job of dashing at the right time to avoid my Q. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. He has no flash, so I'm like, I'm just going to go for the kill. At this point, I think he knows he's dead. I throw my E on, return the damage, and I get another free kill. He's having a very rough time, this Yasuo. And again, if he's raging, if he's going to his team, FF20 and all that stuff, it's just going to put him in a deeper, like, depression hole, basically, and make him play even worse. His decision-making will get worse, and I'll just get more fed. Randomly, a Morgana is mid lane when she's level 3 at the 5-minute mark, and I'm like, okay, this is an interesting game already. So the thought process for the enemy team is give Ezreal a little bit of solo farm, give him some solo XP. He should be able to survive a 2v1 as an Ezreal. That's actually a good idea by the enemy team, but it's just a bit random that the Morgana showed up when she did. So I'm just going to keep farming. Yasuo has shown up again, but I'm level 6 now. So I think I am about to go for the Tibbers, but unfortunately I have no more mana. I do have Ghost, and if I were to have mana right now, I would definitely go for the kill, but it's not to be. Having pressure on him at least, like, he just came back into lane, and he's already half health, so that's good enough for me. They are going to try and come in. I use both my summoners to try and survive here. Udid does turn his sights to me, and I'm like, uh-oh. Hecarim does make his way over. Tibbers is also helping me out, and I survive just. Hecarim hits level 6 from that kill, then goes onto the Yasuo and gets another kill, and Yasuo also burnt exhaust. So overall, really nice situation. The pony is doing a lot of work in mid lane, and we're just wrecking this Yasuo, and that's all I got to say. Is a champion, and I got distracted for a second, and then Morgana showed up, so that feels bad, man. But I should have expected it, because, like, she roamed to mid lane earlier. But as I was saying, is when you have a champion, and again, some people like when I talk about stereotypes, some people don't like when I talk about stereotypes, but I'm going to talk about them. When you have a champion like a Yasuo, like a Riven, like a Master Yi, like a Rengar, like a Tryndamere, these type of champions have one playstyle type thing, is I need to get fed. Get fed, I'm going to do damage, full stop. If they feel that they're not going to get fed, they feel they're going to be kind of useless, they're not going to be able to do what they're designed to do while an engage is coming out bot lane, they're most likely going to rage quite a lot. And that is why I always love getting Yasuo's behind or Riven's behind, because they tilt very easily. I don't know why, apart from the whole point that they might think they're useless, but I don't get why players allow themselves to feel that way, because it's very easy to beat a player who already feels defeated. Anyway, there was a 4-man gank in bot lane. Shen did use his teleport down, and I believe he flash taunted the Caitlyn, which is unfortunate, but it happens. We have a Rumble top lane this game. I love Rumble, and recently I've been contemplating picking him up. So do expect a Rumble episode, maybe in Rush to Diamond, or just in the climb in the next few days. Because he's an extremely fun top laner, and he's very rewarding. If you're a great Rumble player, you basically can kill everything. Like, you can have a safe lane phase, you can farm quite well if you're a good Rumble player, you can trade efficiently, but in late game, you can kill everything. If you get your ultimate on point in a funnel that they're all getting hit by it, you're just going to kill everything. Anyway, returning to mid lane. Got all my spells up again. The build I'm going is a bit of I don't know, an unconventional build, if you will. He does go for an all-in on me. I'm like, okay. I do Tibbers, and unfortunately it didn't have the stun attached to it, so I didn't get the stun. But I just wanted to return damage. Sometimes on Annie, again, I'm not a perfect Annie player, but sometimes for me, it's like, I don't want to just hit the stun while Tibbers went very low health there. I just want to return damage, and just landing Tibbers on him does return quite a bit of damage. Now, I don't want Tibbers to die to the Yasuo, because that's 50 extra gold. That's more than a cannon minion that you're just handing to somebody. So I'd take Tibbers away, and we're going to go do Infernal with him. He got distracted on the Scuttle Crab for whatever reason, so I come here, Tibbers, do the Infernal Dragon for our team, which obviously is a very nice dragon. And then after this, I'll probably return to mid lane, but Yasuo is nowhere to be seen. So far, though, the game is going quite well. You know, it's 5 kills for us, 3 kills for the enemy team, so it's kind of close in that department, but I'd say we have more pressure than them. You can see in the bot lane, my Caitlyn is on the tower that they're looking for first tower. Mid lane, I'm not feeling pressured against this Yasuo pretty much ever. Like, he comes to lane, he may ult me like he just did recently, and then I will return to damage and just nearly kill him. Hecarim, he does walk into our jungle, and I did ping. There could be people in there. I'm expecting the Udyr to be in there, because I think we saw him about 20 seconds ago run into the jungle, but then randomly a Morgana's there. Like, it's so weird, this Morgana's playstyle already. Like, one of the things that she did, you know, roaming earlier at level 3 when Ezreal could get solo farm, yeah, that was okay. But being in, like, here at this point in the game is a little bit weird. I do opt for getting the kill for myself, which is quite nice. Zilean uses the ult to survive, which is again pretty good. Unfortunately, the Yasuo manages to survive just from the Caitlyn Q. But again, really nice trade. You know, Hecarim just survived by ulting out, and we get a nice kill on Udyr, so overall a good situation. So my bot lane, again, really good point I want to make, is if you in solo queue are a bot lane and you're like, I understand what Huz says all about top laners. Top laners don't have a lot of impact in the game until team fights, but also bot lane doesn't. Well, I can tell you, if you win your bot lane, get the tower early, this is what you should be doing, is rotating. Now, I did a terrible Tibbers there, unfortunately, and it was very close to hitting. I tried to hit him before he E'd, because that would have saved his life most likely, but alas, it was not to be. Hecarim does come over and kill the Yasuo once again, and then we finally get the tower. So like I was mentioning, if you win your lane amazingly well, you get the tower. Rotate mid. Go get mid tower. Your mid laner, if it's a decent mid laner and they're not ragey or anything, if they actually understand the game, they should never rage about people wanting to take mid tower. That's a very important tower to get. Anyway, I do get a little bit baited here, I'll be honest. So I was like, I'm going to save K. Never mind, I'm dead. Shen randomly uses ultimate as well. Maybe he was expecting me to just throw Tibbers and kill Udyr. I'm not sure, but we do end up dying when we probably shouldn't. So we are ahead in this game. We definitely have pressure in this game. We're getting towers. We probably have a little bit more farm than, you know, the other people on the enemy team. But we are giving away free kills. We are giving away kills that we should probably be already gone by the time kills are happening. So that's just a small mistake by us. And you have to be careful of those, because those could be the difference of the enemy coming back. You know, you can't underestimate an Ezreal getting a couple kills, gets his items, and hey, presto, he's in the game. Unfortunately, Rumble did throw his ultimate the other way, but they are going to look for the kill. Really nice play by the Rumble and Zilean here. So Rumble realizes that he's got no heat left, or no flamethrower, goes next to the Udyr with the Zilean bomb, and Zilean picks up the kill. So that was really nice. I made a joke going, Amazon, the Prime got a boom. I don't know why. It was 1 in the morning, and I was in a pretty of a silly mood. Meanwhile, though, I'm looking on the minimap. Stuff is happening over there. Zilean does use the ultimate to survive or revive Rumble. I'm like, I'm on my way. Nearly got Tibbers is what I'm really wanting. And I'm like, if I had Tibbers right now, I'd flash over that wall, try to get a kill. But alas, they are not here yet. I do go for it once again, but people keep flashing my thing. You know, the one point I want to make is if you're not quick enough to kind of see, I always hold 3 stun charges. So I'm always like one ability and then use another ability to get the stun. So I'll always E and then use my stun very quickly to try and make them think, oh, Annie doesn't have stun at the moment. It doesn't really work if they just flash out every time. So that feels bad, man. Yasuo has gone to the bot lane because maybe he thinks, I need farm. I'm so far behind. Maybe I can farm against a Caitlyn. Maybe I can kill a Caitlyn is his thought process, which Caitlyn is pretty low right now, so she has to be careful. But it should be fine. So there's the CS-wise. Rumble's way ahead. I'm kind of even with Yasuo because he's free farming in bot lane. And I believe my Caitlyn was ahead. That is obviously the one disadvantage with these post-game commentaries. If I was like, let's look at the farm, I can't actively bring up the menu because this is a replay technically. But yeah, furthermore, as Annie, my build is a little bit weird. So because I was doing so well versus the Yasuo, I was like, okay, I'm going to go for the burst build, the movement speed build, or the Luden's Echo Rush. This gives me pressure. This gives me like the movement speed to always catch up to him. But then I'm like, okay, so most games in League of Legends nowadays, they go to late game. You know, I'm sure most of you know this. They always go to about half an hour at least in solo queue nowadays, unless it's a absolute stomp. And this game could be an absolute stomp, but we are giving them just too many free kills. So I'm like, okay, this game is most likely going to go above half an hour. If I finish my rower about the 20-minute mark, then by half an hour, 40 minutes, I'll have a full complete rower, and it's worth buying. Because rower obviously is a very good item on this champion. Yasuo does a really nice combo there, actually, like surprisingly good. I get ulted by Zilean, I think a little bit preemptively. I don't think he needed to actually do that. We do end up trading 2 for 1, so it's a worse fight for us. And I'm like, oh, I've nearly got Tibbers in 10 seconds, so I'm playing a little bit stupid here. Ezreal will literally just Qs me in the face and I die. I don't think even the E did any damage. They do pick up the Yasuo, which is nice. Rumble is coming over to try and get the Ezreal. He does have ultimate up right now, so hopefully he can pick him off. Unfortunately, though, Rumble, for some reason, uses his ultimate while in tower, and so that makes him slow, and the tower gets 2 extra hits. So this is my point that I've said already, is that we're doing okay, we've got pressure, but now we're giving away way too many free kills. And I'm actually saying this to my team, just sloppy play is happening, let's just like clean this play up, we do a good play, we get a couple plays or picks, let's just back out. you know, build an advantage. It's like building a house. You don't try to build the house all in one day. You put some bricks down, you come back the next day. That's what you got to do in League of Legends. It's just like, okay, just a little bit of fed, you know, we get a couple kills, we'll come back again. Anyway, Zilean randomly is in my lane farming, and I'm like, okay, so my CS is taking a hit here because that was probably 5 more minions that I could have had, but it's okay. You know, I'm kind of strong on Annie at this point. I'm ahead on items that I probably should be, so it's fine. Caitlyn is asking the Hecarim, can she have red? I think he gave it to her, if I'm not mistaken. But the pony was doing quite well this game. Dragon is coming up, it is up now. So I was like, okay, let's just do the Scuttle Crab really quickly. And we also saw Yasuo in the bot lane just now. So I was like, he can't still be bot lane. But he is. Like, I don't know. There are some people that just don't think in this game, I guess. They're like, yeah, nobody's going to come bot lane for me when I'm overextended without any vision. Well, they are. So he does another good wind wall, but then he goes for an ultimate, and yeah, it's practically useless at this point. He doesn't do enough damage to kill me, and our damage, me and the ponies, I don't even have to ultimate, and he just basically gets one shot. Caitlyn returns really nice damage on the Morgana. Somehow she gets like nearly the Morgana. They get the kill on her without actually dying at all. Ezreal goes all in for the Caitlyn, and she actually gets ulted by the Zilean. I've got my stun, so I throw Tibbers on the Udyr, and that should be a dead Udyr. Meanwhile, we'll probably go back and do the Dragon, or at least Caitlyn and Hecarim will, and us three are just going to push the mid lane. Again, if you are ahead, make sure you have constant pressure. Pressure is what wins games. You know, it's not kills, it's not objectives, it's actually pressure. You can have all the kills in the world, you can have every single inhibitor, but if you're not pressuring those lanes on top of the stuff you're getting, it's pointless. So make sure you are applying pressure, because I always say if you're not constantly applying pressure, it gives the enemy team time to reset their mindset. Because right now, already we saw in the early game, the Udyr was saying that the Shen and the Yasuo were flaming, they're saying FF already. So in our heads, they're already defeated. They already feel like, oh, this game's over. But if you let them kind of reset and like nothing happens for 5 minutes, they may feel, oh, we're back in this game. You know, they're not taking their lead. We may be able to win. Don't give them that opportunity. So that's all I got to say. Now, the enemy team, my team was doing Rift Herald, and then suddenly the enemy team has slain Rift Herald. I'm like, what? But then it kind of clicked in my head. Did Ezreal ultimate it and he managed to kill it? So that isn't, they're not going to randomly get the buff, you know, they have to go actively and pick it up. But that basically means just nobody has Rift Herald. So that's unfortunate, but really well played by Ezreal. You can do that. You know, if you are playing something like a Lux or an Ezreal that has that snipe potential, try to do it. You know, it's worth doing. He's denied us a pretty big Rift Herald buff, most likely for our Rumble. Anyway, Hecarim is just playing with the Udyr a bit. I was going to rotate down, but then I'm like, I need to get farm, so I'm actively pinging the CS in mid lane, because I think Zilean was going to take it. But because I pinged it, he decided against it, which is quite nice. Means I can farm a little bit more than I am normally doing. So I'm going to get a couple waves here and there. So next kind of port of call is we have tier 2 in mid lane. So when you're thinking, okay, constant pressure, keep going, where should we go? You can see tier 2 still exists in top lane, but also exists in bot lane. Anyway, a good bind and a lot of damage came out on the Zilean. I am looking potentially for the Ezreal here. I do throw my Ghost down, and once again, my Tibbers gets dodged. So maybe I shouldn't throw Tibbers down with the stun. Maybe I should do Tibbers after. Like, I'm not really sure. But the whole point of why I want Tibbers first when I stun people is because when you summon Tibbers, I believe he gets the Enrage straight away. So you get more damage if they're stunned from Tibbers because he has more time to hit them. So that's just unfortunate. I think I said he keeps flashing. I think he didn't flash. I think he just E'd. I was positioning behind my Tibbers just in case he threw Q out, and I completely forgot she could just pull me to stop my base. I want to go back right now. The reason for it, as I mentioned earlier, is if I get my rower by about the 20-minute mark, I will have it for late game. I do have enough gold to finish it, and I'm like, I want to go buy rower, but there's a lot of stuff happening in top lane, like this. Hecarim once again survives with no health. He's done that so many times this game that I'm like, I've got to rotate over. I may have to help. Caitlyn is alone, which is a little bit weird in her positioning, but she does manage to get one kill, amazingly. So that's not terrible. But, it's, you know, we should maybe just group or go buy items, refresh, and then, you know, then group. But while this is pushing, I thought, okay, let's at least get the minions into the tower. So me and Zilean are going to push this in. And then I think I noticed very soon that the blue buff is spawning. So we're going to probably wait around for that. So anyway, we do a bit of tower damage, not a crazy amount. Me and Zilean aren't the biggest tower pushers, let's be honest, but we get it to an okay state that if Caitlyn gets one wave on that tower, it'll most likely go down. And this is the point that I think I know blue buff is coming up in a minute. You can see on the minimap the icon of blue buff is about to spawn. It's going to be coming up pretty soon, so I'm just waiting around. I've got Tibbers coming up now. See if I can go for a one-shot. And if I can't get any of that, then at least I can take the blue. I'm not sure if I've been given a blue yet by the Hecarim. He has taken a few of them, which is fine. Hecarim is a mana-reliant jungler. As long as I know that he's going to take blue, then whatever. Obviously, I do want blue, so if I can take the enemies, I'm going to do that, which I do end up doing. Zilean does get out of there. I believe Udyr used Ghost, but just couldn't quite catch up to the Zilean. Nice stun by him. We are now rotating in. Rumble does die as he's by himself. And we are looking at this point potentially for the Rumble kill. I do get a mini bit distracted because there's an Ezreal by himself. I'm like, ooh, AD carry. But meanwhile, at top lane, the Caitlyn is going to be trying to kill the Udyr. Again, Hecarim goes down bot lane by himself. So Caitlyn is very strong. She can kill an Udyr by herself. Again, he's a relatively easy champion to counter at a higher rating if you know what you're doing. You know, Caitlyn, all she has to do is play around her traps and E, and an Udyr shouldn't really do anything to her. And I think that's what she's doing. She's playing her champion effectively versus an Udyr. But then, again, like I mentioned throughout this whole game, we are throwing too many kills away that Rumble and Hecarim both go 1v3, I think, in bot lane, and both end up dying without actually getting a kill. So this game is a good example of you're having a lead, you're feeling good about it, but you are actually giving the enemy team a potential to get back in the game. You know, if the enemy team decided to group and pounce on us when we're not 5-manned, they actually could come back in this game, but they have not done that as you know, right now. Now, the Zilean in chat is saying, let's try to end ASAP. I think he does later go on saying his eyes literally are closing. You know, again, I do want to stress the point. Play ranked when you are feeling good. If you've got a headache, if you're starving, if you're stressed, headache, whatever it may be, very tired, don't play ranked. Play League if you want to, but it's you know, it's up to you. But ranked is that like little bit extra. Ranked is like, you know, where you're putting your rating on the line, but not only your rating, you're putting your teammates' ratings on the line, which I know not everybody cares about random people on the internet, but I would just at least respect them to be like, I'm really tired right now, I'm not going to put their rating on the line. So I miss my Tibbers again. Maybe I'm a little bit tired and I only played this one game and then didn't play another. But we managed to get the kill down there. Zilean does a very clutch ultimate on himself to survive. I do go for the flash onto the Ezreal and we managed to pick up that kill. Nice dodge from me on the Morgana bind. That was a pretty quick reaction, actually. And right now we're like, okay, let's just wait behind this tower. The minions will eventually come. But I didn't look at the minimap because the minions are nowhere near at this point. So I'm like, okay, any second we can escape. We can run through the tower with minions and we'll be fine. Still no minions have turned up any second now. So there they are. So now we can get the tier 2 nice and safe. But you can see also Caitlyn in chat. Wake up, Grandpa. And then Zinni's literally had my eyes closed. Like, don't play when you're this tired. Like, it is dangerous. You know, you might just fall asleep. I've had friends that have fallen asleep because of this. Enemy team is looking for their last ditch attempt by the looks of it. I just stun the Morgana before she even can ultimate. We just get that kill really quickly. Ezreal eased into the fight, but Rumble has picked himself up a triple kill. Hecarim gets the Shen. Ezreal is the final kill, but we don't manage to pick him up yet. We're going for the inhib, and basically this game has been messy. I think we all can agree this game has been sloppy, it's been messy, but we've always had like advantage. We haven't felt completely stressed in this game pretty much ever. So when the Zilean has said, hey, can we just finish the game, guys? You know, I'm basically falling asleep here. We've gone, okay, let's go. I'm really low. I do pick up the kill because I'm like, screw you, Kate, I'm taking it. He might have returned to kill me. And there you go. There is the surrender vote. Now, I do think I do have the outro, if I'm not mistaken. Again, this is a post-game commentary, so it might not be perfect. But let's quickly go into the outro and see the damage and all that good stuff. So bear with me. All right, so here we go. So we went 5-3-11, 9.7k gold, 135 CS. We got an A+. And damage done, we did the second most in the game, I believe, just behind the Caitlyn. Or I might have done a little bit ahead, it's hard to tell. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed, throw a like on it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.